Hi all, this is Akhil Jain, Executive Director at Jain Amar, the promoter company for the brand Madame.
Hello from me as well. I'm Athanassoulas. I'm the President and CEO of Styrixis Group.
We've been talking for so many years and we've been working on this project for so long, and now we see this coming, becoming real and coming into reality. How's your first feeling?
Well, it's very exciting. I'm very honored to be here, and I'm happy that this has come to fruition, and I'm very happy to be with you and honored to be here today at the opening of the first of
the many stores
to come.
Yes. So we call it the version 6. It's like a V6 engine which has good turbo speed and everything.
Perfect.
What were the first thoughts that you had when I came to you with this problem statement?
My first idea was that you had, as a person and as a leader, a very healthy attitude towards the challenges, which is always the very important and prerequisite first step, because we strongly believe that when you have that attitude, there are always solutions and there are always paths that you can walk towards the success and the growth and to solving any issues. So I thought that, and it worked actually that way.
Yeah, true.
Despite the difficulties and the COVID period, we should work together and understand and solve all the issues that you mentioned.
Correct. I remember when we were discussing about the new concept that we aspire to be known as the the best fast fashion brand in the country. And one thing you rightly said was you have to begin with the consumer in mind. So that's the first step, not the store, not the layout, not the design, not the color of the fixtures, but it's the consumer. So can you just throw some light on how do you feel the consumer is today and how it is changing globally?
Consumers are changing as everything else nowadays in exponential speed. So what we strongly believe, and we agree with that, I think, is that there is no specific mathematical result in an equation. It's more of a formula that means based on the values and on who you are, you have an evolving concept. You have a brand that adapts and grows together with your consumers, so as to always create for them the solutions and what they need to find in your brand. So in an ever-changing environment, you cannot come up with static solutions.
Correct.
You have to come up with a dynamic, ever-evolving brand such as yours.
Correct. So what I've also seen, the Indian consumer is changing like anything with the penetration of internet to the lowest start of society. India's, I think 70% of India's population below the age of 35, a very vibrant population. Disposable incomes changing very rapidly, education levels changing very rapidly. What I've also observed, the consumer now who comes into the store, they are well researched now. So earlier I remember, when I started back my career two decades ago. So we as the producers were the kings, and he said, okay, whatever we're producing is right. But today when we see the consumer walking the stores, they are well researched, they're well aware about what's happening around and what are they looking at. I think that was one more reason that we wanted to declutter the store and try to see can we provide that ease of browsing to the consumer and give a more standardized experience.
Correct. You're very right, and they come well informed, and because they come well informed, the experience should be elevated, and the convenience and the ease of browsing should be heightened if you want to give them something to match their online experience and choose to buy from the store, from the physical store.
Correct. So while we also discuss about a lot of traditional or the KPIs at the stores about conversions, about footfall, what do you suggest should be a way forward? We're already about 200 stores in the country, and obviously because we look at the traditional KPIs, we are still able to not able to figure out or get the right tech in place in terms of what tech will give us good data analysis. We're still dependent on a lot of traditional KPIs that the ERP generates. But do you think we can build something on top of those traditional KPIs to see, okay, how my customer is performing, behaving, or what's he or she doing in the store?
Sure. There are always new tools, and there are always ways to test and control and follow the performance of the brand in the stores. Apart from hard KPIs, as you said, like conversion and sales and whatever you do with your ERP and the analysis, there are tools like understanding the density and the journey within the store, which is extremely important in order to optimize the journey within the store. There is sentiment analysis, which used to be, traditionally from the sales team, and they were through empathy, engaging with the customer base. You still need to have that,
correct,
but there are ways to actually work with technology to have sentiment analysis from your customers as they are in the store, and all that by still being very careful with any personal data or having no problem with that. Having said that, in the context that we discussed before about the ever-evolving concept, whatever you do in terms of technology and KPIs and testing has to do with how they evolve. So the whole idea is not to take a static picture of one day and understand how the density is working and how people are following the customer journey, is how to see long-term how this is evolving when you change the collections, when you change seasons, sometimes when you change personnel.
True.
Because it is important to note, and I think that this is very integral to the work we do, that a business or a concept or a brand is a system. And as a system, it comprises of many elements. They all need to be consistent and they all need to work together.
I think is omnification or endless aisle technology is going to be a big booster to today's consumer?
Well, people are switching to from physical to digital and back in a seamless way, no matter how we deal with it. So we need to adapt to that, and we need to provide an experience which is for sure even more than omnichannel, but a seamless experience that you can use both physical and digital experience in the same way. Which means that you have to be able to recognize the customer also on a physical. At the physical store, what are the preferences? The same way that an algorithm works on a digital site, you have to somehow integrate that within the physical space. The digital is a very shallow way of doing things. It's more product oriented. In a store, you have the scent, you have the lights, you can feel the textures, you interact with people, you engage with people who are smiling and who are willing to help. This can be very difficultly replicated on a digital level. I think that what we're seeing now in terms of trends is now you move from products to services to experience, but now the experience, and you've done that actually for 30 years by introducing and by being the most forward-thinking fashion brand in India. I think what is very important now is the experience and the connection to the brand, which is outside the short period that you spend inside the store. So you do have an experience in store, but the question is, how does the brand impact your life on a 24/7 basis?
Right.
So the success comes from what the brand really represents, what is the attitude, what are the values of the brand, and how I feel by interacting with the brand much more than buying a product.
Correct.
And I think that this is the success behind Madame and behind Jain Amar.
This is, I've also realized that, while in 1993, when we introduced this brand, and the woman, the girl there, that was my customer today, she's a mother. She'll be at 45, a mother of 2, working professional, or maybe some at the peak of her leadership career. She's still my customer, and so is her daughter. So
Isn't that amazing?
That's really amazing. And let's see if they move up the ladder, and the next generation also be our customer. This is what we are looking forward to. But when we talk about now the upcoming Gen Zs and the alphas now, so I think sustainability is one talk of the town globally, right from North America to Western Europe, Eastern
Yes.
Europe, and it's also penetrating down to Southeast Asia now. So at times I feel, especially for the developing or third world countries like India, so sustainability probably is still is a distant dream. What do you think it bridges? How it bridges down from North America to Southeast Asia?
I think it's a very interesting discussion because whether it's a distant dream or not, for the brain of the Gen Z and the alphas, it's an issue.
Yeah.
So I think that there are many ways of dealing with that issue and being proactive and actually adding value to the sustainability. But before we do that, the main problem is that people need to be educated about sustainability. When you talk about sustainability and you have a brand with 30 years of history, in a lot of ways, it is sustainability. So sustainability, it's not only logistics and supply chain, it's not only the energy saving in the store. I think that we are obliged to respect all the rules of sustainability and being proactive.
While we were, re-strategizing about, the next 5 years about how we are going to deal with our customer in terms of experience, and we already have a beautiful tagline called "Be Everyone You Are."
Correct.
And you were one of the people who said, "No, we will stick to this tagline. Let's not re-engineer what we already cracked." So, why did you, say that okay, let's stick to this particular tagline and not change it, not re-engineer it?
First of all, I believe it's a very interesting tag because it's about the customer. It's not about the brand.
Yeah.
And I think that the brand, especially with a collection like the one you have, should empower the people to feel free and feel proud of who they are. And that is a feeling that is required across the world. It's uniform around the world, and it's a very important part. So when you say "Be everyone you are," it gives you the possibility of celebrating who you are, if I can use that word. And I think that within this environment, it's exactly what we've managed to do, because you have an environment that can cater for everyone in that sense.
Okay. So you've been a pioneer of redesigning concepts and customer experiences journeys, especially on the physical retail footprints. So anything you would like to tell us about this particular store that your company envisioned for us? We are very happy with what has come out, and what do you have to say about when you saw this for the first time in physical?
First of all, thank you for for this wonderful trip so far. You're right. We've been designing retail concepts for 30 years, and all over the world, from the US to India and from Russia to Nigeria. So we understand different markets and we understand the consumers who are not that different. Of course, there is a difference in each country, but that's 10-15%.
Correct.
The majority of what people need is the same. I think that the concept here is extremely nice, and we've worked very well with the teams together, because this is also part of the success of the recipe, let's say.
Very true.
So we were very close together, and we worked together with the wonderful team you have for many months to create a concept that, again, in the broad terms of experience, gives you an uplifting feeling, gives you the ability to feel energized, to walk the talk of "Be everyone you are."
Correct.
And a store that allows you, with its warmth and its clarity, to choose exactly what you want to do. So I think that the concept that we have created together is a concept of well-feeling, which is needed very much.
True.
More and more.
More and more always. Yes.
More always. the store.
We witnessed this yesterday while we relaunched the store, and the same consumer coming, looking at the same collection which we were looking 15 days back, and they say, "Oh wow, the collection's completely changed.
Yes.
What happened? What
This is
happened
a
to the
big
brand?"
success.
And this is this was so amazing. It was so enlightening for everyone, and we're so happy about it.
I'm very happy for that. Yes.
Yeah.